let me introduce you to Rhinoceros 3D. Now, when you pop up that screen, yours should pretty much look like what I have on the projector. However, sometimes it may not, because mine has like this blue bar right here. Yours may just have the green and the red, and that's it. Don't worry about it. I'll show you how to get those. But everything should be in its place. Just let me introduce you to the parts of this program, and we'll go from there. Top row right here, the menu bars. It is a pull-down menu bar that has pretty much all your command in it. It is pretty much like a lot of the programs that you have been using. You have a command prompt below that. Well, I'm sorry. The pull-down menu, you have the pull-down menu, and then you can select other commands from the pull-down menu. In Rhinoceros 3D, there's more than one way of inputting the commands. You can go ahead and use the pull-down menu, or you can go ahead and use these icons and the tool tabs, which will basically get you to the same area, or you can input the command directly. So if your cursor is at the command prompt, you could type in a command if you like. So in that way, it should be as flexible as you want. Sometimes you don't know what these icon looks like. If you hover over them, it'll kind of tell you what the command is, but a lot of times you can kind of guess. Like if you want to copy something, you'll type in copy. So again, we'll work through that as we go along. And in the beginning of these lessons, I will try to show you the 3 different ways of getting to the same command. So it might seem a little boring, but some people think a little bit better using these icons, while others like to pull down the menu, and yet others just typing in the command. So I would say I'll try to introduce all 3 different ways, and you could select from it how you would like to input all the commands. Okay, so that is going to be up to you. But anyway, this is the pull down menu, like I said, and you could get all of your commands through there. Excuse me. The way these are set up is that it's going from simple to more complex. The file pull down menu, it's like regular stuff, right? Like new, open, save, print, and all that stuff. Edit might be undo, copy, cut, paste, all that stuff. View would be changing the view of the camera and stuff, but here from the curve, surface, solids, that would be more or less starting to draw an object in the program. Now, one thing about this program is that curves means lines. Even if it doesn't bend, it means lines. It's just the way the program thinks, so just keep that in mind. So if I ask you to draw a line, it is in here under the curve, which is kind of strange, but that's what it is. So these are more like one-dimensional drawing, whereas a surface is more like a plane, like a piece of paper or something. And so you'll start off with simple planes, and then it gets to a little bit more complex planes. Others would be solid, so next one over, it'll be, instead of a plane, it will be something three-dimensional, like a box or cylinder or a pyramid or something. And then you have more complex geometry like mesh or warped surface and such, and so on and so on. And then start to tweak those things, which means that you can take those objects and mush it like clay. And there's lots of other tools that edit all your simple geometric volume or planes. Okay, so if you kind of remember that, you could try to remember that how Rhinoceros works is from simple to more complex operation. So if you think what you want to do is more complex, it's probably on the right hand side. Okay, and like I said, these stuff right here, like these stuff is the same commands that are on these area. So you have the curve tools as an icon. So instead of going to the pull down menu and selecting a circle or whatever, you might select this curve tab tools and select these circles and stuff from using these icons. Okay, so like I said, again, it is up to you on how you want to select these things. Okay, like the surface tool, which is if you want to draw a rectangle, you could select one of these icons or pull down from the menu, surface, rectangle, or plane, or you could type in from the command prompt plane. Okay, you will note that, so these are pretty much the commands that are on here, and you also have these 4 viewports. If you notice that one says that it's a perspective, the other has a top view, other has a front view, other has a right view. And then on your right hand side we have these tabs here, which basically tells you what the objects are in whatever you're modeling. So the property of the things that you have, as well as the layers that you're going to work with, as well as the display, and then there's always this help. For novice or beginning users of this program, it would kind of help to keep your palettes here in this help column. Because if you go ahead and let's say you want to do a line, single line, what happens is that in this panel it'll show you exactly what the command does, where else you could find that command. So like I said, when there's 3 ways of putting in the input, it says, oh, you can find this command elsewhere as well. So this might help, and it has some videos and stuff that you can play, so that you could go through the command yourself if you do not remember. So kind of keep this on, and sometimes I refer to this myself if I forget where to find all of the commands and such. Okay. In this viewport, let me get out of this command. In this viewport, like I said, there's perspective, top view, front view, right view. If you double click on one of the names, it will become a full view of that viewport. If you double click in that name again, it will go back to the 4 viewport. There are other ways of setting the viewport so that you have 6 viewport, other ways of arranging these viewport that we won't cover right now, but there's such ways. So right here, again, you could click on any of these names and it'll make that the full screen. You'll notice that below, at the towards the bottom, you'll have these tabs down here as well. Those are basically the same thing, where if you click into these, it will activate the different viewports within your screen. Okay, so you can always activate just by getting into the viewport as well. And so you also have, within this navigation, you have a status bar. If you just move the cursor, you'll notice all these numbers floating around in here on the very lower corner. That's basically telling you where your mouse is, how long your line, the line that you're drawing and such. So sometimes we'll refer to it, sometimes we'll just ignore it, but just let it be known that it is there. Okay. And then you have all of these other tabs right here, which we'll go through as we start to draw something.